I like the lights. Hi Virox, I'm a new player. What resource should I look into? Virox, if you I mean obviously the first and quickest way for anybody to improve is to get a chess coach. Okay, I mean I know it sounds like we're literally just trying to advertise ourselves, right? Okay, but the point of a coach. Thanks for the follow there, Gold Eaglet. The point of a coach, of course, is that a coach can point you in the right direction from the start. Okay. The biggest problem with doing it on your own, okay, is that can people read the recent events list? What is recent events? What are we talking about? The reason why it is so tough to do it on your own, okay, is because of course there's so much information, okay, and knowing what is right for you at what time is the toughest part. Okay, but if you can't afford a coach, okay, which I then will suggest is the first thing you want to look at is try and see if you can download the books from step by step. So the books are called the step-by-step method. There are 5 workbooks, and that'll really just get you through the basics. Okay. Endgame, the basics is a recent event. No, it's underneath it. Come on. It should be big now. Oh, yeah. Smarter, it doesn't really matter. It's just a recent events is just basically for people that, you know, joined recently. It doesn't really matter. It's okay. Yeah, okay, so let me just get to the actual puzzle. Sorry, that obviously it starts at puzzle 1. Let's get us back all the way to, I think we were here last. I think this was the last puzzle we did. No, we did more, right? This was the last one we did. Okay. Jellybean, I have not started with the openings yet, Jellybean. I have not started with openings yet. I will, I promise. Okay. Yeah, cool, Virox, that's cool. I am the person who asked about the middle game book, so I... It's like, huh? Middle game books, it doesn't really matter. If you're at a decent level, okay, if you're like 1700, then any of the middle game books that I have, you know, said for you to have, that will be perfectly okay for you to look at. Okay. Rokato 22, thank you so much. Sweet skin change. yeah, Jason, I have different colors for every different thing. So endgames are green. You'll also see that in the schedule, endgames are also green. So I try and color code everything. Middle games are yellow, tactics are red, playing is silver, and blue is viewer games. Ooh, David Saunders chucking a little... throwing a little bit of dollars my way. Gotta love some music there. Gotta love it. Thank you so much, David Saunders, for the $5. Cool. Okay, boys and girls. So this was the last puzzle we did. Okay, we just finished with if both sides have a passed pawn. Okay, if you guys missed the previous, cheers, David. If you guys missed the previous endgame lessons, okay. Yeah, Mari's trying to kick you out of the stream champion there. Be careful. Yeah, it's from Dragon Ball Z. Okay. So, if you guys missed the previous episodes. Oh, sorry. Mar, can you quickly do me a favor, Mar? Just update the stream title. Just update the stream title to Endgames, exclamation mark, space, dash, space, basic Endgames, on leadchess.org. That's fine. Can you do that quickly for me, Mar? Okay, so as I was pointing out, if you guys missed the previous 3 endgame lessons, okay, they are in the archives. Okay, Twitch has an archives as well, so you can click on the videos thing somewhere above, somewhere above there. And when you click on the videos, you will be able to also click the scrolling down menu that'll give you the collections. Okay. Then when I go for the collections, you will see that there is endgame collection and so on and so forth. Thank you so much, Mar. I love that I have you as a mod. Okay, so let me just say thank you, Tipsy Boy 123 for the follow as well. Okay, so again, if you missed the previous 3 episodes of Endgames, basic Endgames, then you can go and check it as well. Okay, so we literally just finished with if both sides have passed pawns. Now we have a very interesting situation. Okay, so again, if you missed the previous episodes, you might want to go watch them because everything follows on each other. Okay, so this episode, we're going to start with a little bit of geometry of the board. Okay, the problem here is if we do a real quick count, okay, it's white to play here, by the way. If we do a real quick count, this black pawn is going this way, by the way, and the white pawn is going that way, just so you know. Okay, in case that is a little bit confusing right now. If white tries to go for the pawn, okay, he actually loses. Okay, he actually loses. Why? King here, king here, king here, sorry, king here, 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 attacking the pawn and defending his pawn. Then we go here. And now we're doing the same thing. We are defending our pawn and we're attacking your pawn. Okay. And now, of course, suddenly you have to move your king, and if you move your king, you lose. Okay. So, this does not work. So I'll show it to you, just so you can see it. Oops. And you get Zugzwang. Exactly. So again, if you guys missed all the previous lessons and you don't know what Zugzwang is when you put your opponent in a position where if he moves, he loses. Doesn't matter what he moves, okay? There could be, a lot of... Yeah, you know what? Zugzwang emote could be a quite cool one, Jellybean. Jellybean, if you have some interesting ideas for a Zugzwang emote, then send me a message, okay? Because I would be interested in that. That's a cute idea. I like it. So yeah, so now white is in Zugzwang because white can no longer defend and attack the pawn at the same time. So, somebody pointed out, Lord of Puzzles pointed out, the only way for white to draw is that when you take the pawn, you want your king to be on b4. But here's the problem with your immediate decision on that one, Lord of Puzzles. There is this that we need to take in consideration. Does anybody know, okay, it's going to take white 6 moves to get to b4, okay? Does anybody know how many different routes white can take to get to b4 in 6 moves? It is quite a disgusting mathematical question. How many, let's see if you guys have a little bit of mathematical skills here. How many different ways can white prounce around to try and get to the b4 square in 6 moves? Hi, Attackly! There's no deathmatch today, Dragon. Yeah, it is a hard math problem. Ardu tries 200. That's not too far away, Ardu. That's not too far away.
The Force will be with you always.
The Force will be with you always. Thanks, Smarter Chess, for the follow. Okay, I see 6. Oh, good lord, you guys obviously don't understand the math here. Ooh, Jason is close. 96. Nope. There is so many, guys. There is so many. Let's see. No, it's 6. It's 6. Jason, there's 6 moves. 6 moves, not 5. Cheers, Lord of Puzzles. It was good seeing you, buddy. I hope we see you again. Remember, Jason, it's 6 moves and not 5. Chonchev tries a stab in the dark there as well. So far, Ardu was still the closest. Nobody has the math here. I'm so disappointed, boys. I'm so disappointed. There is, okay, 144 different possibilities for the White King to go from this square to this square in 6 moves. 144. Okay, so basically you want to go, okay, here's one, right? Okay, then there is this one as well. Then there is this one, this, you know what I mean? There's so many zigzags that we can take, right? There is so many zigzags that we can take. It's 144 different ways that we can go from here to here in 6 moves. Okay. Now the problem is only one way actually draws. Every other way loses. Okay? And this is where shouldering, if you guys missed the previous lessons, this is where shouldering comes in again. If white does not find the right path, okay? If white does not find the right path to get to b4, then the black king, ooh, did I just drop internet? Am I still here? Just let me know. Hi, Aniket. Just let me know if I'm still here. Because my lead chest just dropped. The rest seems to be okay. So just let me know if I'm still here, guys. If you guys can still hear my voice. Anybody in the chat, just say yes or whatever. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, my lead chest just hung. So, yeah, very, yeah. Maybe a side update or something. Oh, you think so? Okay. Well, that doesn't help me. Oh, is that what happens? Is that, you know, when that stuff happens, like a little site update? I didn't know that. Cool. Hey, dude, mate. Okay, so it's not just me. Well, that doesn't help my stream. What the hell? I'm gonna do a little bit of a cry time. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. Oh, site update in progress. Okay, I can see it. Okay, I can see it says site update in progress. That's new as well because I've never noticed that before. Or was it always there and I just never noticed? Yeah, yeah, there you go. Lee Chest just throwing down the hammer like. Yeah, lots of new faces, Aniket. You're falling behind, buddy. Good morning, by the way. How is the weather in India this morning, Aniket? My friend from India. Oh, okay. It can't be worse than yeah. Jason, what happened? Tell me what happened. I didn't. Was there a fiasco with the match? High-ranked guy and was destroying him, and then the side goes down. Oh, I'm so sorry, Brian Town. So sorry, man. Yeah, chess.com is terrible, right? It's really funny when that stuff happens because they can't fix it. It is just so funny. Jessica froze for 15 minutes. Awesome. I love it when chess.com goes down and goes terribly. That is so great. Makes me so happy. I'm sorry. It makes me so happy. People pay thousands of dollars, right, for the match to be played, and then chess.com goes down for 15 minutes. I love it. Makes me so happy, guys. Makes me so happy. It's back. Let's have a quick look. I will update and see. Oh, no, still down. Etium 2, thanks for the follow. By the way, I love this picture that Leeches has when it's down. It is so funny. Okay, cool, Jason. I'll have a look. At that. Jason, are you serious? Is that a clip as well? Like switch to Leeches? Did they seriously do that? That is awesome. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's still down. Yeah, donks for me. That is probably the problem, right? I mean, they have money, but okay, there we go. So it looks like we're back, boys and girls. Not long. It's all good, and we are back. Okay. Oh wait, maybe we're not, right? It's still saying network reconnecting, network error. So it's still saying that for me, but the board is back. That's a small victory for me. Okay, should I refresh again and see if I am back? Nope, it's down again. At least I like the picture. I love the picture here, so it's okay. Etienne too, thanks for the follow, Etienne, and welcome to the show. Again, I just point out for everybody who is watching from Lichess or wherever, if you're not following us on Twitch, come and give us a follow on Twitch. We would be much obliged because, of course, we are at this point trying to build our follower count so that we can get partner status with Twitch, which, of course, will help us. And, of course, whatever helps us helps you guys. He says, try a refresh again. I have tried a few times, my friend. Okay, there we go. Are we back online? Nope, it still says network error for me. It goes up and down. Yeah, Mar, you know what? They're in Discord right now. Like, oh, wait, guys. Chess Doctors is on. Okay, let's troll these bitches, man. Let's troll them. Let's quickly do an update, and we let it in, and we let them out again. And we let it on, and we let it out again. Yeah, right. Good luck with that one, Pigeon. Pigeon Knuckles. Come here, Pigeon Knuckles. Come on. Come. We'll do this. Whip out the physical chessboard and use webcam. Yeah, I could do that. You know what? If my chessboard wasn't so far away, then I would. Okay, wait. We're back, yeah? We're back. There we go. We're back. Yes, we're back. Woohoo! Okay, so as I was pointing out, there is 144 different ways for this king to get to this square in 6 moves. Okay. Now, as I also pointed out, there is one small problem, that there is only one route, 144, that actually draws for white. Okay. Thank you so much, dude, mate bro, for the follow there. Okay, so the biggest problem that white faces if he does not find the right way is that the black king will use shouldering to his advantage. Okay, he will be able to block the white king from coming closer, and when the king then moves away, he will be quicker to take the pawn on b6, and then you will not be able to get to the square. Okay, Ray Chilino. Hi, Ray Chilino. How are you, my friend? And welcome to the show, by the way, Ray Chilino. If you're new to the channel, Ray, and you're watching from Lichess possibly, then click on the red text at the bottom where it says Twitch Chess Doctors TV and come and give us a follow on Twitch. Okay, that's the important one. Give us a follow on Twitch. Okay, so Attackly says we go to G3, F2, E1, D2. Okay, so Attackly has the right idea. Okay, the idea is that we want to come from underneath the king. So when the king goes here, we want to be here, right? If he goes here, we can be all over the place and be ready to go to these squares. Okay. So king g3 is very important. Now I'm going to show all the other variations as well, though. Okay. So let's try king g5, right? Okay. Yeah, Aniket, exactly. It's a sneaky position. The king goes up, right? Then, of course, you're too far, right? If you now try, let's say, after king here, you try here, I go king. And, of course, now the problem is that after this, you can't get here in time. Because now you have to run around it. You see? And now you're not on b4. If you're not on b4, you're losing this endgame. Okay? Because as we pointed out, you need 2 out of the 3 principles to win the game, right? Okay, Chonchev says we try a different route. Okay, but here's the problem, right? So if we go g3, he's going to go king c2. Okay, obviously. If you go to f3, then he's going to get opposition. And this is a problem for you because now you're too far behind. If you go here, I go here, and I take, and go here, and you lose. Okay. If you go here now, you're too far behind. Okay, so here, there, take, and you're still not here. Okay. So that is why king f3 doesn't work, Chonchev. Okay. What you need to do after king c2 is you go king f2. And as Aniket pointed out, you want to go from behind this rook, this king. Because now if he plays here, you can still play here and you're okay. Because if he goes here, you go here, and you're still just in time to take the opposition. Okay, distant opposition doesn't work, Aniket. It's too slow, you're too far behind. What you have to do is you need to get to these two squares and be able to come in from behind the black king. So that is the only route you can take, is to get to these squares here. Okay, so if he tries to use shouldering, as he's trying to do here, by king f2, king d2, to shoulder your king away, you can play here, and you're still perfectly okay. If he goes here, you can go here again. If he goes here, then of course you're close enough here. Okay, now of course you are still perfectly fine, because you are in this situation where you can still get to b4 and take the opposition, which means you will be able to draw this game. Okay, so just a weird little geometrics of the board here of how the king needs to run from behind. So he needs to make this little loop around the king. Okay, yeah, take him from behind, Aluminium. Exactly, just take the boy from behind. Okay. Exactly. Perfect. Okay. Thanks to Gold Eaglet. I actually wanted to know what the stats was myself. So thanks a lot, Gold Eaglet. Thank you for quickly popping up the stats there. Okay. So it's just important to note sometimes that that there are multiple ways for you to get to a specific square. Okay? So this was a good example of just showing you that there are so many different ways to get to a specific square in the same amount of moves. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next puzzle. This was important, by the way, which you will find out just now why. The next one is an interesting situation as well. Okay, please note that the white pawn is going this way and the black pawn is going this way. Now, at first glance, this looks completely and utterly hopeless, right? for white, right? It just looks like he's losing. I mean, the king is in the square. Okay, so for those of you who do not know about the rule of square, okay, as long as the king is in the rule of square, the way to draw a rule of square, by the way, is to just count the squares in front of it, okay? Count the same amount of squares. You can even do it on both sides if that is necessary, right? And then as long as the king is in the square, whoops, same on the other side, ching, 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 then he can catch the pawn. Okay. Very cool. So that is what is called the rule of square. Okay. So here the king is in the rule of square. If you push the pawn, I go here, and of course I can just catch it, right? But the white king is nowhere near the rule of square here, because the white king is not even in front of the pawn. So this would be the rule of square. But the white king is in the back. So the white king is nowhere near the rule of square. So it looks like white is just completely screwed here. But yeah, the point of this game is to show you that the white king can catch up and also threaten to promote his own pawn. So he can catch up to your pawn while threatening to protect his pawn when he wants to promote as well. Okay. It's a very interesting situation here for white. So white starts with the move king g7. Okay. First of all, now he's creeping closer to this pawn, right? But he's also creeping closer to helping this pawn. So what does black play here? Let's give you guys some options and I will show you what happens. What do you play as black? What do you guys think black would play? When everybody gets quiet, I always worry that something happened and the stream is down, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm looking around like, wait, am I still on? Yes, I'm still live. Okay, I think so. Crap. Is there something going on? Oh no. So what do you guys play for black? Pawn h4. Okay, Mars says, let's shove h4. Nice and simple, right? Exactly. It just looks easy, right? So you just push the pawn, right? Nice and easy. Okay, now check this out. Yeah, aluminium, I agree completely, yeah. So now king f6 gets played, okay? The king is still getting closer to the pawn and getting closer to his pawn. Okay, what's the next plan, boys and girls? Are we just gonna keep on running? You're gonna go king b6. Etienne says he wants to go king b6. Okay, king b6. Now here's where the cool geometry comes in from this one. I can go king here, which now threatens to get into the rule of square. Okay, I'm threatening to get in here. So my king is threatening to get into the rule of square here. Okay, but also my king is threatening to go here, which will help my pawn promote. So now, okay, h3, exactly, and now I go king d6. Now I'm finally here to help my own pawn. If you go here, I go here, you promote, and I do the same. And it's equal. It's just a draw. You don't have anything funny here. Okay. So it's a nice little example of how the king runs all the way to here to come and help his pawn or be able to get here. So now let's go all the way back. King goes to g7, king goes b6 first. We still go king f6. Why? Because we're threatening to get into the rule of square. I draw it skew. So we're still threatening to get into the rule of square. Okay. The king is so close. It's so close, man. Okay. So now you have to push your pawn. Because if you take my pawn, I just go here and it's a draw anyway. So now you have to push your pawn. But now I still go king e5 because the idea is again and again. I could be wrong. It could be 144 as well. I'm almost sure it was 144, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Just give me a second. I might have not even checked that. I apologize. Blah, blah, blah. I wrote it down somewhere. I can't remember. You got me. It could be 144. But anyway, doesn't really matter anymore now. It's over now. Okay. So yes. So now again, we're threatening just to get into the rule of square. Okay. There's two options here for us. Here or here. So again, you can't take the pawn because then I go here. And then of course your pawn's dead anyway. Okay. So after king e5, again, you have to push the pawn and then king d6. And we are at the same time queening. Okay. So very nice. So at the start of this puzzle, it looks like white is completely and utterly screwed. Okay. But he's not, because he can use the geometry of the board to get his king closer to this pawn and get his king closer to this one. Okay. Yeah, I could, but why does it matter, Aniket? It doesn't matter if I draw the rule of square for black as well. The only rule of square here that matters is this one for black, because of course his king is on this side, right? So that's the only rule of square that really matters. We don't care about the other side because the black king is not on that side. So just out of interest. So there's a nice example where we can use the geometry of the board to get closer to our pawn to help it promote, and get closer to his pawn to prevent it from promoting. Okay, perfect. So not the toughest puzzle ever in my life, but a nice example of how a king can obviously do two jobs at the same time. Okay, now we start with what do we do in situations when we have 2 versus 1 pawn. Okay, so 2 versus 1. Most 2 versus 1 pawn endgames are winning. Most. But there are some that are not. Okay? And opposition, again, if you don't know what opposition is, go check out episode 1 of our basic endgame course. Okay? And then you will know what opposition is. But you'll probably figure it out a little bit as we go along anyway. Okay? Have some doubts, so I asked to make it clear. Oh, okay. Okay, Aniket, I'll make it sure. Here's another example, right? So again, just count how many squares are in front of the pawn before it promotes. Okay, so this pawn. So you count the squares, and then you do the same for the squares next to it. And we could do it on this side as well, right? But of course, there is no square on the next one, okay? So now, we just draw it like this, of course, here. So if the king was anywhere in the following squares, then of course he could catch the pawn. Okay, so that is it. So like I pointed out, the easy way is just count how many squares? 3. Count the same onto the sides of it if the pawn or can be on both sides, and then you just draw a nice little block from the pawn all the way around. Okay. That is the easy way to look at a rule of square. As long as the black king can get into the rule of square, then then he can still stop the pawn. And no, Aniket, this is a win for white. And here is the problem why. Okay? No worries, Aniket, no worries. Here is the reason why it's a victory for white. First things first, when white has an extra pawn, okay? The strongest extra pawn you can have in any endgame, pawn endgame, is a protected passed pawn, which this one is, okay? It's a passed pawn, and it's protected by another pawn, which means the black king can never go here, because of course I just run away. Okay, so that means that the black king is now confined to the following squares. Can't go anywhere past these squares. Okay. So what we want to do here, okay, is just run around on squares where he can't.
Will be with you always.
Thank you, Annie. Anyawa. Okay. Okay. So all we do here, even though we don't have the opposition, right? Black has the opposition right now, so black is protecting these squares, and we cannot take over them. Okay. So black has the opposition, but he cannot keep the opposition because we can just run out of the rule of square where he cannot. No, it doesn't matter. This all wins. If it was black to play, by the way, I will get to that. But here it's very, very easy. We can just run anywhere we want with our king. We can run around here. Whee! We can do what we want. Because the king can't stop you because he cannot go further than this square. Yeah, it just wins either way. Hey, K Shinkle. Hello. How are you, man? Okay. Exactly. The white king can go wherever it feels like. So check this out. King d6, keeping the distant opposition, right? Okay, cool. King c3, and now king c5. Okay? And now he has the opposition again. The problem is that the king can just go to b3. Because you can no longer play here, because then you're not in the rule of square anymore. Okay. So it's a very cool situation where his king is confined to the rule of square and it cannot leave the rule of square, which means your king can make a nice little run around. South Africa is great. Apparently, Hikaru Nakamura thinks South Africa is great too because he's here. So Nakamura is in South Africa. In a couple of days, he will actually be in Cape Town. So I could probably go meet the guy if I wanted to, but he's on holiday. I feel like it's the only reason I would want to meet Nakamura is if I could play him. And he's not coming to Cape Town to play. He's coming to do all kinds of other, fun holiday stuff. So, I'm not going to go bother the guy on his holiday. So, I hope he's enjoying his time here. No, sadly, Aniket, now you cannot play here, of course, right? Because then you cannot catch the pawn anymore. Now the rule of square has changed. Of course. And the king is too far away. It can't get into the rule of square. So now, of course, you can't catch it. Okay. So now the king would have to go to, let's say, d5. And now we can just run around. King goes to b4. Because you cannot go king here as well, because then you're not in the rule of square anymore. Then I just run, right? And then your king is behind the pawn. Okay. You can't go here, same thing. I just run with the pawn. So now the king goes to d6. And now I can just go to king c4. Yeah, more. He did, yeah. He lost to... Actually, I need to see the video, then I could probably tell you who he lost to. Because, of course, I do know the players here in South Africa as well. Oh, yeah, true, yeah. Why? Because people were talking about what happened in Cape Town, but I have no idea what people are talking about. Okay. I have no idea what people were talking about here. And now, of course, the problem is that white will not be able to keep the opposition because of this square. Okay, so king c6, yeah, king goes here, and king goes here. And now you cannot take the opposition because the pawn is attacking it. Okay. Now, there is one more trick that you need to be careful here of as well. Okay, after king e7, king goes here, f6. And the king goes to f8. It is important to just go for the pawn. And then, of course, you just have 2 pawns and it's easy to win. Okay. Yeah, Gold Eaglet, just so you guys know about Kestoni, he's dealing with some personal stuff. Okay. Oh, G moves. Yeah, no. It wasn't any big problem. I was in Cape Town yesterday because it was my mom's birthday. And my chain snapped on my motorbike. So nothing happened. Don't worry. I was literally, at a stop street, and I was just pulling away around the corner, and my chain just snapped. So luckily, I wasn't, on any high speed or anything weird happening. So, so I had to stay the night and get it fixed the next morning, and then I came back. So no stress, no worries. Okay. So let me just say about Kestoni, he is dealing with some personal stuff. We gave him the space to, do whatever he wanted to. I'm not quite sure why he just kind of deleted his whole presence off of the internet. But, if that's something he felt like he wanted and or needed to do, then it's cool. Okay. So we're hoping we can get him back onto the, into the family again in the future. But, if not, then that is what it is. If there is a black pawn on the A file in queenside 2, does the positive change much? Yeah, of course. If there's an extra pawn, then it changes a lot. Okay. Now, the only trick here, by the way, is that if you tried this, okay, then after king goes here, right, f7, king goes here, this would be a draw. Because now after here it would be stalemate, right? Oops. And if you go for the pawn, he takes, and he goes here, and suddenly he has opposition, and you're screwed from a king and pawn versus king endgame point of view. Okay. So that's why you would just go for the pawn instead. So here you would just go here and take the stupid pawn. Okay. Nice and simple, really easy. He goes here, you take, whatever, and you just shovel up both pawns. Okay. So yeah, so there we go. Okay. So that is how you would win. Of course, if it was black to play, by the way, then black would just have to go backwards and we would take the opposition and do the same thing. Okay. And then eventually just win the pawn. Okay. At the start of the pawn, if black had a pawn on a, yeah, if black had a pawn on a7. Oh, yeah. We will get to those type of positions, Photon. We will get to those type of positions, yeah. The problem, of course, is Photon, is as I point out, the protected pass pawn is so much stronger than a pass pawn, it's insane. We will get to positions like that as well, Photon. I will show you examples of that, so don't worry. Okay. Very, very nice. I will show you an example just like you pointed out, Photon. Just like you pointed out. Okay. Aniket, we will get to a position like that. Just give it time, boys and girls. Don't be too hasty. Slow your roll, boys. Slow your roll. Calm down. We will get to a situation like that. I promise we will. Okay. Let's go on to the next puzzle. So here we have a weird situation. Okay. Now, the trick in this situation is that it is an H-pawn. Okay, note that the pawns are going this way, just so you know. Okay. It is more than a pleasure, K-Shinkle. More than a pleasure, my friend. So, because it is an H-pawn, there's a big difference in this position here. Okay. It's a cool puzzle, this one. Okay. Now, if right, we try and be sneaky here. First of all, let's look at the rule of square. Okay, this is the rule of square for the white king. Okay, white king can't go further than this. Okay, very, very important first thing to note. Okay, but there's this really cool thing where white can prevent the black king from entering into the square via, let's say, the B and or C file, right? So let's try some options here for black. It is white to play, by the way. Okay, white goes king e3. The king goes to e7. Okay, if it goes to e7, right, then we can just run around here like a freaking chicken monkey poo. Like here, okay, you go here, I just go here again. Okay, the point here is if the black king tries to run around, right, because this is what we want to do, right, the black king wants to now run around the ruler square like we did in the previous example. Here is the problem. What happens? So you go here, I go here, taking opposition. Important, I take opposition. King goes here, I take opposition. I'm still in the ruler square. Don't forget, I'm still in the ruler square here. So I am shouldering your king now with opposition. If you go here, I take opposition. If you go here, I take opposition. So I'm in the square, and I am blocking your king from getting access as well, which is awesome. It's a really, really fun puzzle to show how the white king can stay in the ruler square, but keep you out as well by keeping opposition. So again, if you continue on this little path here, it doesn't matter. If you go, let's say here, then I take distant opposition. Very, very cool. Okay, because now, of course, if you come back again, I go here. If you go here, I go here. If you go here, I take virtual opposition. Boom, boom, boom. Right? This is why it's so important to know about all the different variations of opposition. Okay. Now, if you go, let's say here, I keep virtual opposition. Same thing. If you go here, I don't have to do anything fancy. I can even do this, right? Because, of course, if you go here, I go here. Very, very cool. Nope, I do not. I do not miss those. I'm probably not old enough. Okay, perfect. So now let's go back, right? So let's say we give you opposition here, and now you push the pawn. The problem is, Aniket, is that whenever you take the pawn, of course, my king will just go to g3. Okay, so now I go here, your king comes closer, whatever, I take, you go here, I go here, you take, and it's still a draw because I take the opposition. Okay. So that is the key here, Aniket, because it's the h-pawn, you can't get my king far away enough to avoid this endgame situation where you're just drawing. Very, very cool puzzle. I love this puzzle because it just shows you how the white king can put up a shield and says, no, thou shalt not pass. Okay. Very, very nice little situation. And the reason, by the way, why it's a draw, Aniket, is because it is obviously an h-pawn. So there's no squares on the other side of the board that we can exploit. Okay. If there was other squares on the other side of the pawn, of course, like we had in the previous example, then he has more problems to deal with. Okay. Cool. So that is a very, very nice little situation of how sometimes you can draw this as well. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And we're going to look at a backward pawn. So in the previous example, we had a protected pass pawn where the pawn was protecting the pawn in front of it. Now we have a backward pawn. A backward pawn is defined as a pawn which is being prohibited from moving forward by a pawn itself. Okay. So, and there is usually, it's also protecting a pawn. So this is called a backward pawn.
The Force will be with you.
Commander Brevik, thank you for the follow, Commander. I salute you, sir. I salute you. Yeah, of course, Aniket, if you change them down, would it still be a lot? No, it's still a draw, Aniket. It's still a draw. If you move them down a square, it's still a draw. Because you can do the same thing with a king. If they are 2 down, then of course you're lost, because then you will get into a king and pawn versus king endgame where your king will already be on the 3rd/6 rank. So yeah, so even if they're down 1 square, it's still a draw. You can still hold the exact same pattern for white in that situation. So here is another situation where black can hold the draw by using opposition. Okay, the pawn is not far enough. Yeah, you can try triangulation. Okay, I like it. I like it. Z annihilation. He wants to try triangulation, but you don't actually have the problem with the reason why triangulation works, by the way, is that you have 3 squares that you could go to with your king, whereas your opponent would only have 2. But here, your opponent also has multiple squares to go to. So triangulation doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. King e3. Oh, you think this is for beginners, huh? But you're wrong. King e7. Now what? What's your game plan? I keep distant opposition. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? So how do you get in? If this was your easy, simple plan here, Z annihilation, you thought you were so clever. How is white getting in? Because he's not, obviously. The music done! Hi, the music done! Welcome, buddy. I haven't seen you around. Is that what you do? There is no way for white to make progress, by the way. Okay, Keishinko, cool. So you want to go around. So let's say you go king f4, right? Okay, here's the problem. You do not have times. Yeah, Etienne, thank you so much for pointing that out. I am glad you are learning. Yes, if you go king here, I go king here. Now, the problem is, Keishinko, if you try run here, I can just go here. And now you're actually losing as white. Okay, because it is a backward pawn, if your king goes too far away, my king just runs in and wins your pawn, and I could even win this game now suddenly as black. So it's very, very, very dodgy for you to do this. So in this situation, if you come back with your king, I just take the opposition again. Ta-da! And I'm covering all the squares. Okay. So I can keep on using opposition. You go here, I go here, and I have distant opposition again. Yeah, exactly. Taking distant opposition saves the game. I thought it was so easy, Z annihilation. So yeah, so in this situation, there is no way for white to actually make progress. Nope, there is no way. Unfortunately, Keishinko, you can't make any slow progress here. So yeah, so the best you could try is maybe something like this right here. King e6. I don't even know what does it matter. You go king here, I take diagonal opposition. And again, your king cannot go anywhere now because, of course, I just go here and I win the game. He was trying. Hey, at least Keishinko was still trying to win this game, okay? But you cannot win. Of course, if it was black to play in this situation, he is completely lost. Okay, goes here, go forward, and of course eventually we win the pawn, right? Goes here, we go here. Goes here, we go here. We take take opposition, and then we're going to enter and eventually win the pawn. So yeah, so this is actually a draw. So backward pawns can be a little bit tricky. Okay, they can be very, very tricky. Okay, we're going to do one more. If you put king b4, doesn't matter. King here, okay. Let's say I go king here, okay. Again, we have the distant opposition, right? Okay. Now what? You want to go king here. it doesn't matter because I can just, well, okay, at this point I don't have to do anything. I can just play here, right? I just take opposition again. Now you can't push your pawn. Okay? So what now? Because at some point you're going to need to push this pawn, right? No, exchanging pawns is still a draw as well. Still a draw as well. Yeah, of course, but that's slightly unfair. Is it though? There might be a fortress, Z Annihilation. There might be a fortress if you put all the pawns one ahead. No, it's a win. Yeah. It would be a win, yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Black could try, if the pawns were here, here, and here, Black could try and run into the corner because, of course, then if you attack the pawn, it would be stalemate, right? But you can play here at the right time then. Then, of course, when his king would, if he has to take there, king would go here, you'd push king here and king here. So, yes. No, exactly. This is just a draw. He can try tricks here, but he can't actually win the situation. No. Okay. So, yeah. By the way, just out of interest here, if Black goes here, this would be a terrible move from Black. Because now, yeah, there's no fortress. Exactly, yeah. Now, of course, king here, you'd have to go, if you go here, I go forward. If you go here, I get the opposition, and now it's just losing, right? Now, I run in. I go here, and I have taken over the critical squares. Okay. Critical squares gets you hammered here. Cool. Okay, last puzzle for the day for Endgames. Oh, yeah, obviously I just wanted to show what happens, right? So this is the next puzzle. I just wanted to show we would just be able to take over the critical squares and then eventually win the pawn. Okay, easy. So next one. This is a very, very fun one. Okay, tough puzzle. First of all, do you guys think white can win? White has the opposition does king e6 hold. White has, no, king e6 doesn't hold, right? Okay, sorry. I'll go back. Music Dan asks a good question. If king e6, does this hold? No. Now I just play c5. Game over. If you take there, king there, king there. And of course I run. Okay, so if you play king e6, then I can play c5. And of course now, if you try anything funny, if you move your king, I just play here. And of course the rest is... I can even play here as well. Sneaky little options here with the right pawn here. So yes, it should just be perfectly acceptable to win the game. It's a cute idea though. Cute idea. Okay. So yeah, so unfortunately c5 now works after king e6. Okay. No problem, well, the music, Dan. So yes, so after the king would have to move, then we get c6, and of course the king has this little run here. Just out of interest, if you go here, let's say we try this, right? Let's say we try this. I go here, king goes here, right? Now, of course, I can run around because the king is confined to this block. King is defined to this, so now we can run around, okay? So he can try. Now he goes here, we go in here. Perfect, okay? King goes here, we go here. King, let's say, goes here, here. Now we can use triangulation, right? So king goes here. How do we finish this off? Let's see if you guys can find the way to finish this off. Hello there, Shipla! Thank you so much for the everything. What is the easiest way to finish off this position, by the way? And if you were here for the previous episodes, then you would know exactly what we would do here for white. Okay. That is cool, man. I am very glad to have you, Shipla. I am very happy if you guys are learning from the streams. Okay. King e7 runs into king c7. And then what? This is one of those situations where we want to give away our front pawn because the damn thing is annoying and it sucks. Okay. It doesn't even matter. We don't need to try and use triangulation, by the way. We could just play here. This is just simple as well. Very easy to win this because as soon as we get this pawn, we already have our king on the 6th rank and our king is in front of the pawn as well. So we can literally sacrifice the pawn. This is why it's so important for you guys to know that this is a winning endgame if we get to this square. Okay, so we can give them the pawn. Take it. It's yours. Have fun. You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. Okay, now what? You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. And now I win the pawn. Now usually this would be a draw, right? If he has opposition. But remember that there are 3 principles that we need to look at when we want to win with king and pawn versus king. Okay? First thing is that we need to have our king in front of the pawn. Check. King is in front of the pawn. Second thing is we need to have opposition. Not so much check because he has opposition right now. But third thing, we need to have our king on the 6th rank or 3rd rank if we were obviously black. Okay, so now because our king is already on the 6th rank and we have the king in front of the pawn, we have 2 out of the 3 rules, which is all we need. We just need 2, okay? Because now we can force his king out by just playing king here. King goes here to take opposition, right? Now we play b6 and the king has to go in front, and after b7, unfortunately, the king cannot stay here anymore. So he has to come out and then king c7. And of course we queen. Quick mate here. King goes here. We chase him back. We don't check, of course. We just chase him back and we finish him off. Nice one. Okay. Fen Style. Thank you so much, Fen Style.